in the end, both teams are better. I think that Luka is going to be better for the future for the Lakers. Not right now. For the future, he's got to learn from LeBron, learn how to take care of your body. My man is like 20, 30 pounds overweight. This is the first time the Lakers did something that I don't think they asked LeBron's permission. They're like, look, man, you're 40. You're 40 years old. We need somebody for the future. And we've been talking to the homie Nick over there in Dallas, and we're going to set something up. Dallas, we're looking at Luka and saying, you're out of shape.
Bump.
The culture's jacked up. We got to get rid of you.
Dallas is not better without Luka.
Yes, they are.
No, how are they better without Luka?
They are
just made the NBA Finals.
They are better.
Right
they
now.
Are better.
If a team that just made the NBA Finals is better, that means they're going to be the champs. And I don't think they're going to be champs.
This is an LA delusion that I've never seen this up close in person, and it's fascinating.
They're better because
how are they better?
Who's their point guard?
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving. You imagine him and AD in the pick and roll situation, right? With Luka dominated the ball. Luka dominated the ball. Kyrie's not able to do his thing. They're trying to win in the next 2 or 3 years, right? If you're thinking long-term, 6 to 8 years down the road, story, fairy tale ending, yeah, for sure, they jacked that up. But they know, you heard Nick Harris say, Nick Harris, right? Nick Harris say, look. Nico Harris say, look, we don't have 10 years. He's sitting there with his head coach, and we don't have 10 years. They go, look, they're going to bury us. We might bury ourselves. We got 3 years to get this done. So, look, I think both teams are better off. The Mavs are better than the Lakers right now. The Lakers will be better in 3 to 4 years. Nico's trying to win right now.
The Lakers are a really, really good team right now. They found their answer long term. You know more about the Lakers, and you certainly know more about the NBA than I do. I found this interesting, not because I'm a massive NBA fan, but because I'm big on, like, why do people do what they do? Why do teams make decisions that they do? When are sports decisions not actually about the game itself? This, to me, brought up 40 red flags in my brain because it doesn't make immediate basketball sense.
It's not about basketball.
Exactly, unless there is something else going on behind the scenes. That's why it's interesting to me. That's why it's the number one story in sports today. Is it a culture fit? Is it a weight thing? There are all kinds of conspiracy theories about, like, are the Adelsons who own this team, they have majority stake in the team, are they trying to devalue the team?
Stacy,
yeah.
You're saying a lot right now.
Okay.
It's really simple. It wasn't a good fit. They don't like.
They were just in the NBA Finals.
But it don't matter. They don't like him. They think he's lazy. They think he has a bad attitude. It's culture. We always talk about culture when it comes to football. We lean on the culture a lot when it comes to football. Mike McDonald going to come in and change his culture. There are things going on in that building that allow this move to be reasonable for them because of Luka and his attitude, his approach to the game. He's never played a full season. He's only played in 60 games. Every single year he plays
every single one of those games, Dallas
games.
is better with him in it.
They are better, but it's the long run. Like, if you're in a relationship, right, and you guys are powerful, you're a power couple, things are great, but you go home and you ain't happy, how long are you going to be in that relationship?
Sure.
You're just going to suck it up and be miserable?
But do we know that was the case? We know.
Yes,
all
we do know.
So all we know
is
that the Mavs had told Luka multiple times, allegedly had told him multiple times, you have a conditioning problem. However, if I'm telling someone you have a conditioning problem, do you know how many other options I'm exploring before I decide to trade him? Luka, let's try Ozempic. Like, whatever we need to do, bro.
That's how bad it was.
You need like a food psychologist. Like, we got to get you. Do we need a hypnotist in here? I am doing everything under the sun. I will pay out of pocket for a nutritionist to follow you around. I will do a number of things before I'll deal someone. And Bump, you're absolutely right.
That's how bad it was.
You're absolutely right in that a locker room cancer can be a problem. But in what league, if you were to choose, in what league would a locker room cancer be most tolerated? The NBA.
Yeah.
The NBA.
But that's how bad it was. You just explained my argument. You named all the stuff that you would do to try to make this work.
Yes.
So you think that it sat there and we're like, all right, we're going to try anything.
I don't know if they tried Zempic.
Look, it's up to you. No, that's how bad it was. At some point, you can cut your losses, and I don't want to deal with this. Here's the thing. The part that people aren't talking about is that Mark Cuban's no longer the majority owner.
Yes.
If he were the majority owner, this ain't going down.
True.
So now you got other people kind of pulling the strings and having conversations that Mark Cuban would never have. I'm not saying that if I were the Dallas Mavericks, I would make this move. I'm saying that the fact that they made this move lets you know how bad it was for them over there. You don't get rid of Luka has the second highest points per game average in NBA history for his career. Second highest. I think, no, third highest and second when it comes to the playoffs. Like, you don't just get rid of that player.
No.
That's how bad it was. So in the end, you move Luka, and you get a guy who you think is going to help your culture and amplify what Kyrie can do. In the long run, the Lakers will be better. Lakers ain't winning the championship this year. This is Aaron Rodgers trying to mentor Jordan Love, right? You're bringing him over, and hopefully LeBron James can mentor him, show him how to take care of his body, stay out of trouble, and do all this good stuff. The jacked up part is, also, Dallas saved money. They saved about $116 million. They're going to have to pay that man the super max. So if you are willing to pay a 25-year-old super max money, right? That's saying that we don't want to tolerate his antics. We're good. Do you remember the video of him in the locker room and Michael Finley comes up to him and snatches his beer from him. He's over there celebrating, I think it's the Western Conference Finals, and he snatches the beer from him. Like, all this stuff has been brewing for a while. They don't trust the man. So the Lakers are saying, we'll take that risk and send you over our big man because it will work with your point guard.
Okay, let's say you're right. Let's say that the Mavs were so sick and tired of Luka, they couldn't stand him, and they'd be willing to even take less to get rid of him. Why only call the Lakers?
Relationships.
With no other teams, you could get at least another first rounder from another team.
Why would you? Relationships. And you have someone that they like, AD, pick and roll. It all comes down to the pick and roll. NBA is one-on-one basketball. This ain't college where you run zones, a 2-3, a 1-3. No, this is one-on-one basketball. The pick and roll is the greatest play in basketball. And you have a 7-footer who can shoot the J. And also, AD was tired of playing the 5 spot with the Lakers. He wanted to be the 4.
He publicly complained.
Yeah, he wanted to be the 4. So he goes over to the Mavericks where they have a few big men where he can play the 4. And then when it comes down to it, you need buckets, you go down there and play the 5. There are other factors that go into this. On paper, when I woke up, I didn't believe it, and it made no sense to me.
Exactly.
But then I sit there and I go through the history of what the Mavericks have been through with Luka and all the rumors and stuff, and then AD not being happy playing the 4, and LeBron being 40 years old. Maybe he got 2 years left. You bring a superstar over, and there probably was some tampering going on in this, honestly.
Yes,
there probably was some
that's what
tampering
I'm saying.
going on.
I don't know if it's collusion. I don't know if it's tampering. I've heard another theory that we'll get to. We'll probably have to get to it in the timeline about what the Adelson ownership group might be doing here, and like how there's some. It's all just theories, but I will say I have not heard a single NBA analyst, a single NBA voice say, this trade makes total sense, you guys. Here's it.
I have.
You have.
Yeah.
But also, Bump, love you. You're a Lakers fan. So for you're going to be like, no, this makes sense because you might overvalue AD more than some NBA fans might. I don't know how many Mavs fans this morning are feeling good.
No, they don't feel good because they gave up a 25-year-old.
How would you feel if the Lakers traded Luka?
Well, I don't have to feel that way. He's never been mine.
But
I'm trying to think of a player.
I'm trying to think of an equivalent.
If they were, let's say Kobe, right? If they were to trade away Kobe,
right.
I'd feel devastated for sure. I'd feel devastated. But if Kobe had like the history that Luka has with management and kind of coming in out of shape and all that stuff, I would try to understand it. That's the thing. Is like, look. Would I prefer to have AD? I would prefer to have AD. I would, because I think him and LeBron, a good combo, and when LeBron rides off to the sunset, AD would have 3 or 4 more years left. I would love to. But I also think that I put myself in Palenko's shoes, what he's trying to do. Right. You're willing to give up this 25-year-old? The jacked up part is just how toxic it was over there with Dallas. For them to even entertain this is crazy to me. But in the end, Dallas is better now. The Lakers will be better later. From the
720, Luka is so soft, Stacy. He's the worst defender I've ever seen. Now listen to me. All I am saying, I am not saying that AD isn't very clearly a better defender than Luka, nor that Luka doesn't have some deficiencies. All I am saying is the Mavs had what? The third most talented player in the NBA?
Yes.
I don't know where you'd rank Luka. And they dealt him for a return that was so shocking, people thought that the initial report from Shams Charania was fake.
Oh, yeah.
And he had to clarify it was not. That's all I'm saying. That there is an element to this trade that does not make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And so people are like, look, yeah, you're getting, maybe you're even getting a really good fit defensively with AD. He's clearly a better defensive player. It's not like AD is washed. He's just not in his prime. Luka is in his prime. He is 25 years old. He's turning 26, I think, in February.
I don't even think he's in his prime yet. I give him like a year or two.
A great point. Why? Why not get more? Why not make it clear to other teams, bidding war starts now, what you got, give them your best picks. Like, you're telling me that there isn't another really good defensive player that would fit Dallas's plan to win that might be a little bit younger than AD, or maybe that team could throw in another first rounder, that there couldn't be something else there. It smells a little fishy.
You do business with people that you like, and I think that's what it came down to. Nico, Ross with Pelinka, bars, and they did business. Now, me being a Lakers fan, y'all lighting me up on the text lines. I appreciate it,
Sure.
and I welcome it, okay? I rocks with my Lakers. But please believe I'm looking at this thing not from the surface level. It's deeper than just basketball. There's a relationship between Nico and Pelinka, and then there's also the relationship that Luka has with Dallas that has been soured. They are so desperate to get him out of there. Right? And they found a player that they think fits what they would like to do offensively. They don't want to have Luka holding the ball in his hands and dribbling for 10 seconds and then trying to find it. Where it's going to hurt the Lakers is that Luka plays with the ball in his hand, LeBron plays with the ball in his hand. They got to figure some stuff out. They're the ones who have to tailor their offense.
Very good point.
For the Dallas Mavericks, man, pick and roll. Let's go get it. And we got 3 or 4 bigs over there, so you don't have to play the 4. But to your point, why wouldn't you open up to anyone else?
Yeah.
I think it comes down to just relationships. Like, I trust this dude. I like this dude. Let's do business.
One last one, and this is kind of what we wanted to get to. Someone mentioned the Supermax deal that obviously Luka would have been eligible. So let's say that, Bump, to your point, that they feel like he's a locker room cancer. They don't like that he didn't care about conditioning, that he's letting himself, like there was a report he's up to like 280 or whatever, 275. Let's say that they're like, we really don't appreciate that he doesn't try, and we're going to have to commit a serious amount of money to him. The one thing I would say to that is that he's a generational talent, and there is a precedent of other teams committing a ton of money to difficult players in the NBA. Like when the NBA, the modern NBA, and you, Bump, and you, Curtis, are much better, more knowledgeable fans than me. But I think you'd agree with me on this one. When the NBA returns to Seattle, when not if, there is going to be a level of tolerance of like certain behavior, of crazy contracts that like y'all are going to be ready for, because there are precedents of other teams being like, yeah, no problem. We'll pay you whatever it takes. You help us get to the finals. You're a best player on our team. Our entire team is built around you. That's the other thing. They built around Luka. Recent signings, recent deals.
They did. That's how toxic his behavior has been.
Crazy.
They want to get rid of him.